All right, welcome everyone to SimplyHealed webinar. We are in a series of health talks. We'll talk on topics on health that will interest you. All right, so today we're very honored to have our special guest. This is Dr. Jansen Kalalan. Dr. Jansen is a lifestyle medicine diplomat of the International Board of Lifestyle Medicine and also the diplomat of the Philippine College of Lifestyle Medicine. He's also president of the Four-Leaf Lifestyle Medical Group. So big welcome to you, Dr. Jansen, to our SimplyHealed Health Talk today.
Good morning.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you. Well, today I think that everywhere in the news is COVID, right? Yeah. So what do you have to say about the COVID virus? Actually, right now in the news, there's so many things that we can hear. But people have covered on how to put on masks, how to wash your hands, and all that. So for our viewers today, we would like to touch on something, a new angle, educating them on maybe what the virus is. You told me just now that the COVID virus is not new.
First of all, so we have to know what the coronavirus disease is.
Okay.
So a coronavirus is actually an RNA virus. We have two types.
Okay.
A DNA virus and an RNA virus.
Oh, what's the difference?
The difference is just in the sequencing.
Okay.
A little bit different on the sequencing of the RNA.
Okay.
Versus the DNA. So some examples of a DNA virus is a hepatitis virus. An example for RNA would be coronavirus.
Okay.
So there are a lot of other viruses as well.
Is the coronavirus more dangerous because it's an RNA virus, or no? It doesn't make a difference.
The virulence of the virus doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be an RNA that it becomes more dangerous, or since it's a DNA virus, then it becomes more dangerous.
Okay.
It totally depends on how it affects the organism in where it resides.
All right. Okay.
So that's number one. So we also know that the coronavirus or COVID-19 came from Wuhan, China.
Yes, Wuhan, China, right?
Okay? Yeah. So news have been telling us that it came from a wet market.
Yeah, from a wet market. Apparently from eating all those interesting animals.
Wild animal flesh.
Yeah.
So COVID-19 has been linked to bats.
Bats, yes.
Yeah, so it is a zoonotic infection.
Okay.
So what zoonotic infection means is that from animal to human transmission.
Human.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So bats already have this virus going on. Then since humans eat bats or humans get exposed to the flesh of bats, then they can get.
Okay, so that's what you meant by the COVID virus has always been around.
Yes, it has been there already.
It has been there already.
Yes.
It's just that it wasn't transmitted to the humans.
It's the same with the other coronavirus, like the MERS-CoV.
Okay.
MERS-CoV came from camels.
Yeah. Oh, from camels. And that one was very lethal, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Like 30% killing rate or something like that.
Yeah. It's the same with other coronaviruses.
Okay.
HIV. HIV is also a zoonotic infection.
Oh, okay. It came from animals.
Came from animals, then jumped to humans.
All right.
So these viruses mutate. That's why they can jump from one organism to the next or one species to the next.
Does this mean that one day we will actually be we will adjust to this virus? I mean, does this mean that we will actually develop the antibodies?
Yes.
All right.
One day when sufficient amount of people gets immune to this virus, then we will surmount an herd immunity.
Okay.
An herd immunity. So this virus will somehow plateau
and become like a regular flu kind of thing. Because there's talks right now that despite all our efforts, coronavirus might become a seasonal thing, something that we see every year if this becomes a pandemic.
Yeah, probably. But we don't know when that would be. Because the cases are still increasing right now. And it doesn't seem to be plateauing at all.
Okay, so what I want to give our listeners today, our audience today, is a perspective. Personally, I am sort of resigned, or I as I look at the data, I realize that we can no longer avoid this.
Yeah.
That even our governments clamping down on it is not a matter of avoidance. It's more of management. It's here. and it's not going to go away. We're doing our best to manage it. We can't eliminate it anymore. It's the genie is out of the bottle, right?
Yes.
So let's talk a bit about statistics. I think it's crazy that Italy, from like almost nothing now it's 10,000. Yeah. Today is March 10 while we're doing this taping. It's March 10. 10,000. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's ridiculous. And Korea, I remember Korea was very low. I'm a Singaporean, so Singapore was actually one of the first countries to have a double digit, right, in the 20 plus, and then everybody was worried. Philippines almost banned Singapore flights coming in, but then South Korea, out of nowhere, from almost 0 to 600 in a matter of like 3-4 days. Yes. So how do you interpret all this? I mean, what does that mean to you?
It means they're really doing a very good job in detecting this virus.
In Singapore, there's actually a lot of chismis that how can it be that Indonesia, with 200 million people, how can they have like almost zero coronavirus? And there are many Chinese who travel there and do business there from China. So we were just suspecting it's about not detecting it rather than it's not there.
Yeah.
Am I correct to say that if Italy can have 10,000 infected people like sort of overnight, does this mean that really we cannot avoid coronavirus? I mean, as an individual, right? Does it mean that I could come into contact with it no matter what I do?
Yes, I would. The short answer is yes. No matter what you do, you will be exposed to this virus one way or another. But of course, if you know that there is some uncontrollable thing that's going on, can't really do anything about it. Yeah. It's there. Okay. So what you can actually focus on is the things that you have control with.
Okay, that's good advice.
Number one would be, of course, to
wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
All right.
Frequent hand washing. Okay. Proper cough etiquette.
I heard that water actually kills the coronavirus.
You have to wash with soap and water.
Okay,
for at least 20 seconds.
Okay, 20 seconds. Yes. All right.
So
okay, so don't just do for show. Yeah. 20 seconds.
Yeah, and for the record, soap is much better than all the other hand sanitary products.
Soap is better than alcohol.
Soap is the best. Yes, soap is the best.
Oh, why is that the case? I mean, this is something.
It's because of the structure of the coronavirus.
Okay.
So, as you can, if you Google the structure of the coronavirus, so it's a sphere, right?
All right.
So, in the sphere, the surface of that sphere is actually lipids. It's composed of lipids.
All right.
Soap is a detergent.
So it breaks down.
So it breaks down that lipid layer.
So literally you tear apart the virus.
Yes, then it becomes inactive. Then you wash it away with water. Then it doesn't.
Wow, so if you run to Mercury and Watson's and you run out of hand sanitizers, then just use instead of hand sanitizers you can carry around soapy detergent solution, right? It's much cheaper. All right, it's much cheaper. It seems to me that what the government is doing now and what we can do on ourselves is to avoid the cluster. That means we know, like, if there's a breakout in the city, we just don't go there so that we don't expose ourselves. But like for the people in Italy and Korea, if you happen to be the person who accidentally stumbled into the cluster, it seems like there's nothing you can do. Even if you wore a mask, right? Because those on the cruise ship, I mean, they were isolated in their own rooms, but yet so many of them caught it. So basically, we do our best to physically be away as possible. But if you, by some chance, accidentally walk into a cluster or a cluster comes to you, because now it's asymptomatic. What does asymptomatic mean?
Asymptomatic just means that you don't have any symptoms.
So you can't tell. We can't tell if someone has a coronavirus.
It's just like you and me.
All right. You know the irony of it? UK's health minister is now COVID positive.
Oh.
Yeah. It was in the news today. And I remember the Iranian health minister was going on TV saying that Iran has the control, everything of the COVID is under control, and then he started coughing, he started dabbing himself, and the next day came out, he's down with the coronavirus.
Wow.
So I'm saying even if the health ministers of UK can't avoid, and I know Duterte now has made it a ban, no one can physically touch him. All right. If you happen to be in the presence of a cluster, basically even a mask won't necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You only wear mask if you are sick.
Oh.
Regardless. As long as you have
actually,
respiratory
there's etiquette. You talk about cough etiquette, right?
If you are coughing, you are sneezing, you have colds, that's the only time. Or maybe if you have fevers, then you should wear mask. But if you are asymptomatic, you don't have to. You are going to risk yourself more if you wear masks.
Yes, can you tell us more? What do you mean by you will risk?
It's because of the habits of the human being. We love to touch our face.
Okay.
So it's inevitable. When something in your face itches, you immediately touch it.
Okay.
It's a reflex. You don't even know that you scratch it. Okay. You realize after you scratch it already.
Yeah.
So it's actually much better to be always mindful.
Okay.
Wash your hands frequently.
And don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face.
Yeah. In Singapore, there's a campaign now going. The guideline for coronavirus is wash your hands, and face is sacred.
Yes.
So literally, don't touch your face.
Yes.
Yeah, because it enters through the eyes, nose, and mouth. Right.
Yes. And it's also it also helps with your pimples.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So that's how you prevent it by behaviorally.
Okay.
And socially.
So if healthy people like you and I, we don't actually need to wear a face mask while we walk down the streets?
Not necessarily.
Because I think one thing very important for us to realize is that if we go out and buy all the masks, the medical practitioners and doctors like yourself who really need masks because you are coming into face-to-face contact with a positively identified person, you run out of stock. I mean, just like Wuhan, the doctors had no masks and they didn't make their own.
They ran out of masks.
Yeah.
And it's really very difficult for the frontliners, especially like me. I work as a primary care physician, so I see these patients as they are sick. They
cough in your face, right?
Yeah, I see patients, they're coughing in front of me. Yeah. So I have to wear these masks even though I'm not sick. You know, coronavirus is transmitted through droplets.
All right.
So by droplets, that means water droplets.
Water droplets. So when you cough, it goes
when
into
you
the
cough,
air.
when you sneeze, when you breathe on someone, that's basically droplet transmission.
All right, so I think our viewers out there have got I hope we discussed something fresh to them, not just about masks. And now Doc Jansen made it clear that unless you're sick, actually wearing a mask is not completely necessary, right? But if you are sick, then courtesy and consideration so that your droplets don't
fly away.
So wearing masks is actually for those who are sick. Since COVID's not going to go away, SARS was with us for at least a year. Yes. So if COVID seems to be more contagious than SARS.
It's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell, but it's definitely going to be here for some time.
Yes.
So if that's the case, then more likely than not, at some point in the next 1 year, all of us might come into contact with it. So who should really be afraid of COVID?
Okay, so in order to answer that question, we have to understand case fatality rate.
Case fatality
rate. Okay, so what is case fatality rate? So the formula for case fatality rate is the number of deaths from a disease divided by the number of diagnosed cases of the disease.
All right.
Okay, so having said that, this is reflective of the severity of the disease in a particular context or situation.
Okay.
It represents the situation at a particular time, in a particular location, in a particular population. Okay.
So an example would be like you said a particular population.
Yes.
So there's actually different fatality rates for different segments of the population. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, you have two groups.
All right.
Okay, so Group A and Group B.
All right.
Both, in Group A, we have 10 individuals. And in group B, you have 10 individuals.
So
all had heart attack.
All had a heart attack. All right.
Okay. The difference between the two groups is that group A is in the city.
Okay, and group B is
Group B is in, let's say, for example, in the mountains.
And then the number of survivors will be different.
Yes, because group A, since they are in the city, the chances of them surviving that heart attack or not dying from that heart attack is much higher because their access to healthcare is readily available.
That makes sense.
Versus group B, where they are in the mountains, of course, you can't really possibly
no access
to healthcare, immediate healthcare, emergency healthcare, no. It is a value that is arbitrary, that can increase or decrease over time, depending on how the situation changes.
For COVID specifically, are there age groups that are sensitive to COVID?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And are there people with medical conditions that should be very worried?
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to answer that next. For age fatality rates, so this is in China, in Wuhan, China.
Yes.
As of February 11, 2020.
All right.
Okay. So the age group that died the most is 60 years old and above.
Wow.
Particularly 80 and above years.
Wow. I'm looking at the data right now, which is flashing in front of you. It seems like those who are in their 30s and 40s, the fatality rate is less than 0.5%.
Yeah.
Which is like you have a 99.6% chance of surviving.
Yes.
Right? So it's almost like you will survive. But what's scary is that if you are above 80 years old, it's 15% mortality rate. If you are 70 to 80, it's 8%. That's almost like 1 in every 10 people, and that's too dangerous a level.
Yeah, if you are an elderly, right?
Okay.
And if you're on that extreme end, where in your late years, so that's one thing that we should take note of.
So I see here from the graphs, I think the start from age group kind, it starts at 60. If you're 60 and above, you should really care about the COVID in more. You should actually have a legitimate reason to be concerned.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so
that's good.
Then to answer the next question, here's the case fatality rate according to the underlying health conditions.
Wow.
So if you have these 5 underlying health conditions: cardiovascular disease, diabetes,
10%. As good as an 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Diabetes, chronic respiratory diseases. So chronic respiratory diseases, this means with patients who has asthma or COPD, hypertension, and cancer. If you have these 5 underlying conditions, at least one, then you should be worried.
Wow. Compared to the 0.4%, that means you have almost... So if you have hypertension and above, hypertension, diabetes, you have a 15 to 20 times higher fatality rate than a normal person.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous, guys. Yeah. So all those people out there who are diabetic or who are diabetic but don't know it, you have if you get the COVID, you have 15 times the higher chance of actually dying compared to a healthy person.
Yes.
Wow.
But the good news of of course, these diseases are all lifestyle related. So if it is lifestyle related, then by changing your lifestyle, make it more healthy.
That's good news.
Then you can actually prevent this from happening to you.
Wow. Okay.
Cardiovascular diseases. These diseases have already been proven to be reversible. Coronary artery disease, especially. Diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes. This can be controlled through medications, through eating healthily, exercising. Chronic respiratory diseases as well. Okay? Hypertension. Hypertension can easily be controlled by taking medications. And by eating healthfully, you can actually even reverse this. Cancer, of course, when it comes to cancer, patients with cancer either underwent chemotherapy or radiation therapy. Of course, your immune system is
compromised.
It's compromised.
So they have to be more careful.
Yeah, they have to be more careful in terms who they mingle with, who they come into contact with. So they even have to be careful with what they are eating. Make sure that you are eating whole plant foods.
So right now, at this point of our talk, Doc, I think how many percent of the Filipino, first we talk about Philippines population, do you think is actually at risk from the COVID virus? We established that you can't run away from the COVID even if you put on mask and whatever. In the next 6 months to 8 months, you are very likely, without you even knowing, because COVID is asymptomatic, you can't tell if a person is a carrier. So how many percent of the population is at risk? Because I'm seeing here diabetes, heart condition, that is like at least what? 30 to what, 50% of the population or lower?
Probably lower. I can't really tell you the value because we lack local data about that. But what I can tell you is the top 10 causes of death in the Philippines.
In the Philippines is heart.
Top 1 is cardiovascular disease.
So, and these people not only have to worry about their cardiovascular, now they have a COVID, which if they get, they have a 1 in 10 chance of dying from it.
It can hasten it can hasten their death.
All right,
so to speak.
Wow.
Okay, so number 2 is cancer. The number 2 cause of death in the Philippines is cancer.
So there's a 6% chance.
Yes.
Almost a 6%.
Number 3 is stroke. Stroke is again a cardiovascular disease.
All right.
Then number 4 is
it diabetes?
I think it's diabetes. If I remember correctly, it's diabetes.
Well, diabetes, according to the chart right here, diabetes is 7.3% chance. If you look at the no health condition, it's 0.9. So it's literally it's almost a 10 times, 7 times.
If you are really healthy, have no condition at all, chances of dying is less than 1%.
Okay, so here it is, guys. All listeners out there, so you don't have to freak out right now if you are young, if you are healthy. But that means that if you are listening right now, it should come to your mind who in your family you should take care. All right, for me, my mom was supposed to visit Philippines, but the children notice every time she travels abroad, she has so much fun, and she's so excited, and then she's so drained. Every time she comes home from a travel, she gets a flu. Why? Because her immune system is down because she had too much fun. And because of that and COVID, my mom was supposed to come to Philippines. All of us decided no, because we didn't want her to have a compromised immune system. So with Dr. Jansen's explanation, I think right now what should be foremost on everybody's mind is this. Okay, you can't avoid COVID, so now here's the important thing. Are you the person at risk? Okay, are you diabetic? Are you a cardiovascular patient? Okay, if you are, then we're gonna ask Dr. Jansen what you can do to lower your risk from COVID. The next, if you are not at risk, I think the next important question is, who among your loved ones is at risk? And you should be, and if you're listening, then you should take action on behalf of these loved ones. Take care of your parents, especially all your elderly parents. You should ask them to take precautions. Now, Doc, what can we do? Okay, if we belong to the category of those who are at risk, what can we do to lower our risk?
Okay, so aside from those I have mentioned a while ago, frequent hand washing, taking a bath before when you arrive at home.
Okay, taking a bath when you arrive at home. I know a lot of people only bathe once a day, so now you have to bathe when you reach home. So it's more important to bathe now when you reach home rather than in the morning.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes, because by taking a bath, you cleanse your whole body.
Okay, that's very important, right? Okay, so get Lola and Lolo to bathe.
Yes. Right. Okay, so another very important factor is to boost your immune system.
To boost your immune system.
So how do you boost your immune system? Okay, so this is not just taking whatever supplements you can find in the market right now, right?
Yeah, I'm sure right now every supplement seller is gonna tell you boost your immune system.
Yeah. But of course, I'm coming from a perspective of lifestyle. So what can you do?
Okay, what can you
actually boost your immune system. So number one is nutrition.
Nutrition.
Okay, you have to eat the right kinds of food. Okay, so COVID, when we get infected with COVID or whatever virus is there, the symptoms that we manifest is because of the immune system acting on that virus, fighting off that virus. Okay. So if our immune system is strong and we have actually a lot of antioxidants inside our body, then the symptoms would be a lot milder. And the duration of the symptoms of the illness is much shorter.
So again, back to what we talked about, we probably all at some point, or most of us, will get the COVID virus. So what we want to do is fall in the category of those who will recover.
Yes.
Right? And even in the worst case scenario, you actually have a 90% chance of recovery.
Yes.
So it's very good chance. So we shouldn't be afraid.
Yeah.
But we should be mindful, especially if you're diabetic, you're cardiovascular. We should push that down all the way to a 99% chance of recovery, right? Okay. And you can do that by lifestyle.
Lifestyle changes.
So what are the foods that we avoid? Or what are the foods that we should take?
Okay, so number one, the foods that we should be eating are whole plant foods. So by whole foods, these are foods that are unprocessed or unrefined.
Okay,
so these are food that's grown.
All right.
So these are foods that when you see them in the market or palengke, that's the thing that you bring home, cook, then eat.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be processed. So you eat corn, but not that corn chip or the tortilla chip.
Okay, all right. So not chips, not sausages.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
like if you like mushrooms, don't eat the deep fried.
Yeah, don't eat the
mushrooms.
deep fried
that comes in a bag with flavoring and salted egg. Flavored mushrooms.
Eat the mushroom. Eat the real thing.
Eat a real mushroom.
Yeah. Right. So another thing. So
are there foods that are actually good for their antiviral or okay, what are some of those tips?
Okay, so there are no antiviral foods, right? There are foods that primes your immune system to fight off the virus.
Okay, I think this is a very important point that Dr. Jansen has made. Many of us, when we are sick or we're doing something, we want a direct approach, right? If we have bacterial infection, we want antibiotics. But what Dr. Jansen said here is for viruses, there is no direct. The only direct that we can do is to actually do something that's good for the immune system, which attacks the virus. All right, that's great.
So what you will be eating is a combination of foods. So because this works in synergy.
All right.
Okay. So we have to eat fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes.
Legumes
Those
means mongo.
Legumes means beans and nuts. Yes,
beans
mongo is classified under legumes.
Philippines love their mongo.
Okay, so what else?
Mongo Friday, right? That's why everybody grew up here.
Okay, so what else? Mushrooms. Mushrooms is classified under vegetables, but technically it's not a vegetable. It's a fungus, right?
Okay.
So mushrooms.
All right.
Can actually boost the immune system.
Are there specific foods we should really avoid?
Okay, so number one, we have to avoid foods that mount up the inflammation.
Okay, foods that mount up the inflammation. So like chocolate, right? Milk chocolate is
sugar is inflammatory.
It's inflammatory.
Okay. So refined sugar, animal food products are inherently inflammatory.
Right.
Animal food products. So what I mean by animal food products, these are red meat, white meat, eggs, and dairy.
Okay. All the things that we love.
Yes.
Yeah.
But by making the proper choices right now, especially with the COVID.
Yeah.
I think we have to do it now because COVID will just escalate in the next few days. So what we can do is actually start taking action right now, so we can mount up our immune system. So by the time that COVID is everywhere, your immune system is already strong enough.
Wow, I think that's wonderful. What you said is that it's very realistic and it's an action plan for Philippines, because Philippines there's no outbreak of COVID yet. You can't build your immune system over 4 hours.
Yes.
It takes time. How long would it take? I mean, a few days, a week? I mean, what's realistic?
What's realistic? Okay, studies have shown that you can do it in a month.
In a month.
But that's the average.
That's the average. So that Okay, that's the average. So this is where I think supplementation has to come in. Yes. All right.
Yes, because of course our body has its own characteristics, right?
Okay.
So my body is different from your body. We react with different substances differently. Okay. So my point is, we have to do it right now. We have to. The trend is already here.
Well, that's great. The trend is we see the outbreaks in other countries, but it's not in Philippines yet. So we know it's going to come.
Yes.
So we have time, right? So you have the next 1 month, few weeks to ramp up your immune system, so that when it hits well, I don't mean to say something taboo, but I think it's not a matter of if it hits Philippines, but rather when it hits Philippines.
Yes.
When it hits Philippines. And when you actually get exposed to COVID virus, you want to fall into that category where you're 99.5% for sure recover. Right? I think that's the best. That's the scenario that we should be going after. You can't run away from the COVID virus.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
So some specific foods that can actually boost the immune system, or an immunostimulant, mushrooms, nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast has a cheesy flavor. It has an umami flavor, so it's actually very delicious.
All right.
So another food is microalgae.
Microalgae, and that's where SimplyNature pparrs actually comes in. Yeah.
So what I like about this microalgae is it also has omega-3s.
Yes, we have omega-3, omega-6 actually.
Some foods that is very rich in omega-3s are actually nuts. But people with gout, of course, would tend to shy away from nuts because it attacks, it triggers their gout, right? So microalgae is an option for them.
All right.
Yes. Okay, so another lifestyle habit that you can do is to actually exercise. Start walking, brisk walking. Brisk walking 30 minutes a day will go a long way to boost your immune system.
Doc, I want to, because we only have a few minutes left, I actually want to share with our audience and your comments too. Because I was talking to the team here in SimplyNature. I said, all the supermarkets in Singapore, Hong Kong, they all experience being raided, right? New Zealand, people went in and bought canned food and everything. And I was just laughing. Because I was just saying that if really the COVID hits Philippines, all of us here in SimplyNature is very safe because we have our entire stockroom full of microalgae tablets, and it's something that we can live on. Right now, we run out of time, Doc. So I just want to make a special offer to all our listeners out there so that you can take some action. What's important is I want to encourage you. First of all, there's a link below. Just click on the link below, and we'll have a special. We will have a special package, a COVID-19 package for 2020. All right. This package is a combination of cleanse and our PPAR tablets, just the basics. Because going to the CR is another very important thing, right? Yes. Remove all the toxins on a daily basis. So if you're not regular, you're going to build up toxins. That's going to stress your immune system. Yes. So as Dr. Jansen said, it's about lifestyle. Supplementation is now the key to ramp up so that you're ready for COVID. So it's not in our talk today, but our PPAR tablets is actually clinically proven. We did, and doctors like yourself are prescribing it for metabolic syndrome.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're using it to treat diabetic patients, cardio patients?
Diabetic patients who has high cholesterol. So it covers the cardiovascular diseases.
So imagine, normally if you're diabetic, you'll be taking our tablets just to manage your blood sugar and get better. But now you have a double whammy, right?
Yep.
You are the at-risk group for COVID.
Yes.
So let's take this opportunity to get your diabetes under control.
Yes.
Get your cholesterol under control, and you're protecting yourself from COVID at the same time. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna have a special COVID package for you. So click on it. You don't have to come anywhere. Delivered to your house, so you won't risk exposure to anything. All right. And Doc, any last words for our listeners out there?
Okay. Number one is don't panic.
Okay, don't panic.
So we have to be vigilant as well. So be calm, don't panic. Always practice good hand hygiene, frequent hand washing. So number 2, don't touch your face.
Okay. Don't touch my face.
Hands off the face.
Hands off the face.
Okay. So number 3 is of course you have to take a bath every night when you go home from work, because you can never tell.
My wife will be very happy to hear this.
Okay. you get rid of body odor as well. So that's 2 birds with 1 stone. So lastly, it's boost your immune system. You have to take action right now and change your lifestyle for a better one. Okay, so because not only will you be preventing COVID, you will be preventing all the other chronic illnesses as well that can afflict you in the future. Remember, COVID-19 is only temporary. That won't last. But heart disease, diabetes, cancer, it's been here with us for hundreds of years. Okay, so that's my final message.
So everybody, stay healthy, make conscious, right choices, and you're gonna live a healthy, long life. All right. So we'll provide the contact details for Dr. Jansen in the link below. All right. So if you want to consult with Dr. Jansen directly, Dr. Jansen actually has clinics everywhere. And again, avail yourself to the COVID package, all right? Especially if you have elderly at home, all right? If you have a mom, and in Philippines, it's very likely your elderly has diabetes and cholesterol problems. So here it is. You're gonna use this package. It's a great deal. Get their medical condition under control. At the same time, you won't have to worry for them about the COVID. All right, so we'll see you again at our next webinar. Look out for the announcements. And signing out from SimplyHealed, Dr. Jansen and myself, Shen.